So yesterday, the Season 2 Reloaded update was revealed for all players, and today, Vanguard's portion came out. In the last 24 hours or so, that's when we learned about the MP offering coming here for the second half of the season, and having been in a call with developers talking about Warzone, not hearing really anything about Vanguard's side of things, I was interested to see what that content offering would be, but there really wasn't a whole ton in comparison to what maybe many of us thought or had hoped for. Today, I want to have a chat about what happened to multiplayer, past, present, and future here to maybe make some sense out of why this offering seems so dismal in comparison. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Agree that we need some more multiplayer attention, disagree and think the comparisons aren't exactly one-to-one. Whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things COD related, especially with Season 2 Reloaded coming as of tomorrow, launching everything live. But even having started today, we got a lot up on deck here that you guys won't want to miss. So in yesterday's reveal of Season 2 Reloaded, we got a whole host of things detailing the regarding content for Warzone, and we also saw a little bit of what ended up coming here starting as of today in Vanguard as well, but a lot of that was predominantly around Warzone. Rebirth changes, the Rebirth reinforced seasonal event, new points of interest, modes, features, new operators and weapons, but we also get that in MP. But for multiplayer for Vanguard, after 5 weeks since the launch of Season 2, all we ended up getting, and we will continue to get here into tomorrow, was the new mode of Arms Race and a subsequent map of Alps, the 3 vehicles that are used in said mode, a new ranking tier for the League play system, and a shared weapon of the Armaguerra 43. That content is supposed to tide players over until Season 3 at the end of April, another 5 weeks from now. Now, if you're a multiplayer fan, I really feel for you, because while Warzone players are going to be dropping into new points of interest, using new quality of life features and all, Vanguard basically has the same old, same old. The potential of that Alps map and what was Arms Race being rumored as Ground War, but only being 12v12, it seems like a little bit of a disappointment there in that sense, but also that this is really the only stuff we ended up getting for 5 weeks of waiting, plus another 5 weeks until the next content offering. Season 2 so far has offered us Gondola, Casablanca, and Alps as a game mode specific map, so like 2.5 maps there perhaps, a Valentine's Day reskin of some stuff, Arms Race as a new mode and ranked play, and we've only seen so far 3 weapons of the KGM-40, Whitley, and Armaguerra 43, and 3 seasonal operators. Season 1, if you want to take that into consideration, only offered us 2 MP maps, Paradise and Radar, with Control as a game mode as a main offering there, and weapons of the Cooper Carbine, Grenko anti-tank rifle, the Wellgun, and the Katana, with again, another 3 operators. But that's all that we've seen since post-launch of Vanguard here since November. Collectively, 5 MP maps, one of which is mode specific, so maybe an asterisk on one of those, 2 really main playlists here in that sense, and 7 weapons. By this point in Cold War, we had 6 traditional MP maps, but an additional 2 fire team, or later rebranded as multi-team maps, and 5 gunfight maps added into the fold. 4 in Season 1 for the launch of the mode, and an additional 1 in Season 2, so a total of 13 maps across various modes. 10 weapons, the Groza, MAC-10, Street Sweeper, Wakizashi, Farah 83, LC-10, Machete, E-Tool, R1 Shadowhunter, and the ZRG 20mm. Larger mode introductions of ranked play, dropkick, prop hunt, gun game, stockpile, multi-team hardpoint, and 7 operators seasonally. And if you want to go further back when things were just getting their footing in terms of starting with the content distribution, the seasonal stuff that we'd see here that started in Modern Warfare, that had at this point 14 maps. Shoot House and Kravnik Farmland before Season 1, but after that launch, Crash, Vacant, Shipment, Port of Verdansk, Cargo, Atrium, 2 versions of Rust, 1 in MP and 1 in Gunfight, Atlas Superstore, Zokov Boneyard, Condor Hideout, and Bazaar, 5 weapons of the Holger, Ram 7, Grau, Striker, and VLK Rogue, 4 operators, and a handful of modes here introduced post-launch. But if you want to look back at it further, the past year supports a much higher content offering as the seasons went on still. So we're not even on pace to keep up with that kind of stuff, which begs the question, what's happening to multiplayer? I mean, this year in particular, absolutely. But even further back, I feel like there's a case to be made here that even just in the sense it doesn't have to apply to Vanguard, but more so the entire content distribution plans as a whole for multiplayer. If we're talking explicitly this year, it boils down to where's the content overall. Because as you can see, we're a bit short here as to any of the other benchmarks we've seen at this point during previous years. But I think that kind of is the entire mantra of the overall game, not necessarily just the DLC. I mean, we were marketed at the very beginning the most multiplayer maps at launch in the last few years, which is true. That was objectively something that did happen. We had the most multiplayer maps on launch day as opposed to the last couple of years, which I was pleasantly surprised about as a predominantly multiplayer player. But when I look elsewhere in the game, it kind of seems like that launch window is perhaps the best we'd have on offer. campaign was hollow, and it felt like it was just made to be there and didn't have a huge purpose. And I don't want to give away spoilers, but like also at the same time, it's been 4 months since the game came out for a channel that is predominantly people that follow Call of Duty. So maybe being a little bit more open with it here, not necessarily spoilers for the plot, but if you haven't played it, the campaign is 9 missions long. Each honestly way longer than most COD missions on average. I'd say probably about each mission's around a half hour in length, but there's 9 missions total. 7 of those 9 missions are backstories. The main plot of Vanguard's campaign literally only progresses in Mission 1 and Mission 9. And yes, each mission ends up having cutscenes that kind of progresses it narratively, but you actually don't progress the actual plot itself in 7 of those missions. Then zombies, zombies is just very bare even to this day, so I feel like all development went into that launch offering of MP, but even then, we still haven't seen a lot since. But I think what's the most saddening out of the way things are run right now, again, not even really just Vanguard, but MP as a whole, though using Vanguard as an example, there's not a whole lot that brings me back. We have a matchmaking system that for the last 3 years has been hell-bent on keeping players on the game longer, so focusing is absolutely there, it's just more so on like a micro level and not macro. It's not worthwhile keeping players on the games. Vanguard's MP has been fun when I've jumped on, and I know that's not everybody's thoughts, not their cup of tea, and to each their own, that's not the point here, but I've played it a ton. I'd gladly play more if there's more stuff to actually do and work towards. I got Atomic in early January, and I can probably count the number of times that I've booted up the game since on one hand, and that's including today with our Season 2 Reloaded update that we've already talked about. There's just inherently not enough really to do, not even just in Vanguard, but COD's content offering for MP as a whole. There's not enough to keep people involved in the game. You have seasonal rankings and everything that tries to bring people back so that they can kind of have that sense of accomplishment season over season. Every couple of months you come back, but realistically, that's not super involved. Unless you care about those seasonal ranks and those ribbons you get for hitting level 200 and Master Prestige each season, that's not really a whole lot that keeps you engaged over a prolonged period of time. Atomic is perhaps one of those things that you can grind out and is that one real worthwhile grind here, but you don't have things like seasonal rewards that make it worthwhile to come back season over season outside of just ranks, and that's inconsequential. That doesn't really amount to anything. If I could get like Master Prestige rewards like we could in Advanced Warfare or World War II for grinding out certain levels, like level, let's say 300, you get an operator uniform, 400 each season, you end up getting a camo or whatever that may be. Unique skins, unique camos, blueprints, challenge sets even each season to unlock exclusive gear, I'd be way more engaged with it than I am now, and I may even be able to overlook some of the lackluster offerings in terms of seasonal DLC. These 2-month spans of like 2, maybe 3 maps each season, 3 to 4 weapons on offer with no updates in between, that's not going to help the health and the longevity of a game. And honestly, when we see that it's so much less by comparison to the last 2 years even, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm hoping these offerings can be increased at the very least, but also wishing that there'd be more to do. So to that point, maybe Season 3 offers more, but right now it just feels like there's no point to jump on to Vanguard with these seasonal updates. It just seems like we're being shorted as MP fans here, especially this year, but years past too maybe even, but I don't know. This offering this season, I'm looking forward to the Warzone side of things, but I was really hoping that there'd be something that brings me back into the fold for wanting to be able to grind out MP again, because I've just been missing a multiplayer traditional experience here for Call of Duty, but it doesn't seem like that's happening with Season 2. So just wanted to casually discuss this here with you guys, maybe gauge your feedback on it as well. Do you think that we need more multiplayer content here within Vanguard and maybe going forward into the future even as well? Both seasons upcoming, but also Modern Warfare 2 content, especially if it's going to be a 2-year game. Dude, if we end up only getting 2-3 maps each season every 2 months or so when it's meant to be a 2-year game, that's going to be a problem, like big time. So I don't know, hopefully things can get sorted out here, but want to just casually get that off my chest, some thoughts that I had. Let me know your thoughts down below, but if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing running all things Vanguard, Warzone, anything COD related. We've got you covered here on the channel, and I'd love to have you in the community. But that said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care, and peace.